This one's gonna get hot.
The duel has begun.
Valiant, they do come up clutch.
Oh, that's beautiful!
Looks like Dallas trying to strike back. A kill for Seagull. And the gull of the sea swoops in.
Mickey will melee him to death.
And now here comes Envy.
Mickey going to town.
This is so huge!
Ooh, that was a close call, man.
Oh, hey there, everybody. So, the LA Gladiators may be the kings of Nepal, but it was the Seoul Dynasty who took that match 3-1. And now, for our final match of the night between the LA Valiant and the Dallas Fuel. The LA Valiant and the Dallas Fuel, these guys have a rival history. They've done battle with over many different matches, over many different weeks and years. And what's interesting is, though the LA Valiant took the last match, the Dallas Fuel, they've actually made some adjustments to their roster, and they've actually been playing a lot better. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes out victorious in this match. Who do you guys think here is going to win this match tonight? Who you guys going for? You going for? I'm sitting around a whole bunch of Valiant fans. Well, guys, it's time to make some noise. Oh, there's some Fuel fans here too. Anyways, guys, Blizzard Arena, all you guys, make some noise. It's the final match of the night. Let's go ahead, kick it over to the desk with Puckett.
Thank you, Malik, and thank you, crowd. Keep that energy up. It is Friday night. It's raining outside, and we have some awesome video games coming your way. Welcome back, everybody. It's Puckett at the desk. We've got Brent Crumbs alongside Zoe once again, and this is the match we were pumped up to see. Yes, Gladiator Soul. We knew that was going to be a great game, but this one, we don't know what direction it's going to go. You got the Dallas Fuel. You got the Valiant. Both teams retooling here in Stage 2. Brent, what are you looking forward to most?
Yo, I'm hyped to see these revamped rosters, right? We've got a load of mixtures. These players are mixing up throughout pretty much the entirety of Stage 2, and now the teams are looking better than ever. This is going to be a clash of two very, very interesting teams.
Crumbs, who's got the support in the room today? I know you've been looking around talking to a lot of fans.
I think it's always the Los Angeles Valiant. Every time we're in Los Angeles, like
every day.
Wait, nobody says that. No. All right, I guess it's Dallas, maybe.
Dallas Fuel, that's what I was trying to set you up for, because there's so many fans here in the venue. You bombed this, Crumbs, but you're going to nail this part. Let's make some noise and welcome to the stage. Give it up for the boys from Texas. It's the Dallas Fuel. Dallas's 4-match winning streak came to an end this week when they had to face off in another great showing against the Seoul Dynasty. But so far in this stage, you watch this squad, they look so much better behind the aggressive play of XQC, and with AKM now on that Soldier 76.
Yeah, exactly. Now that you have one guy that's just crazy aggressive, if you have everybody follow up, that looks so much better than not having a plan at all, or people being not following one direction. So the fact that you have one guy that's just leading the charge is more than enough to make a team that was struggling look miles better.
You always see Mickey a little bit too close to XQC in and out of game. This guy, he always cracks us up. A joy to watch.
What's wrong with that?
I mean, speaking of these tanks as well, these guys, they've been playing musical chairs with their roster all over the bloody place, haven't they? Seagull is rumored to be playing the diva role in the background in these scrims, but for now they're going to be running XQC and Mickey as his duo.
How long is that cord?
Stretches far. I mean, he makes the most of it, God bless him. But, you know, looking at this team, I'm looking forward to seeing the tank play. That's what I'm going to be paying attention to. XQC, can I get an easy clap in the chat, please?
Yeah, their coach Kaika actually told me that they were really happy with Timeless' performance as a main tank. Yeah, you heard that correctly. At the beginning of Stage 2, we saw Timelu as their main tank.
On a Winston.
However, yeah, he was. And that is still something which needs a lot of work and fine-tuning. So against a team such as Valiant, they want to field someone with more experience on that role, which is XQC.
XQC, he had Stage 1 to practice. He's ready to go once again today. Let's find out, though, who are they playing against on the other side of our stage. We're going to see the Los Angeles Valiant. The Valiant had a rough start to Stage 2. They ran into the Dynasty and dropped that match 0-4, but since then, they've rattled off wins against Shanghai as well as the San Francisco Shock.
They've been looking shaky, I'm not going to lie. The recent additions with Kareem in the roster, that's a recent decision for them. Silfred and Agilities have been seeing less and less play time. However, Kareem has not been disappointing. The man turns up whenever and whatever role he is on, to be honest. Mechanically, he's sound as a pound, and he's really not disappointing at all throughout all of Stage 2.
Sound as a pound. Yeah, they're booing you, Brent. That's not for soon. That's not for soon.
It's not my dad jokes, not my references. That's all soon. That's all soon. But no, like Kariv is the guy to really watch in these games because they've completely swapped up this roster. It raised a lot of question marks. Can they take a win today against Dallas? Well, I guess we're going to find out.
So we've always seen this Valiant squad back when we had Cuddles, the coach. He had a unique approach to the game, how they were going to put this squad together. Now we got Coach Moon in the mix here. Cuddles is out. What's the plan for the Valiant coming into today?
Yeah, I talked about the changes Moon has implemented to the team and also to the style of coaching, and they actually told me that they now give more power to the players. A lot more in conversations about strats and comps, whereas previously the approach was a lot more top-down.
Okay.
So maybe a lot of the things we're actually seeing in-game and on this stage is coming from the players directly rather than the coach.
I like the differing coaching styles coming in here. I mean, what was working in stage 1? You finished top 4, feeling pretty good, mixing things up. A little shaky start to stage 2, but it's still brand new here for Coach Moon. Let's talk about the biggest impact this has had, though, in bringing in the new coach, because I feel like it is Coach Moon who's worked alongside Kariv in the past, putting him into this DPS role. How do you go from Mercy to the Star Slayer on the squad?
I mean, the guy has played DPS before in his Overwatch history. That's the case of a lot of these support players, right? They originally transitioned from DPS to support, but now he's gone back the other way around. And again, like I said before, when these guys were walking out, Kariv does not disappoint at all. And he has been turning up very mechanically. Again, he hits the heads all day long, but the question is, how is this working around with the rest of the team? And that's what I'm really paying attention to, because it seems like Valiant a little bit more uncertain since Kariv's come into the mix.
I think it's going to work in a very long-term play for this team, because now you got a guy that's a huge flex player, and for Agilities and Silk Thread, you have two directions. Either you force yourself to pick up more heroes so that you get put into the starting lineup, or you position yourself as a specialist. So similar to what we saw from Boston, where Mistakes is just playing the Sombra every once in a while, you now have Agilities and Silk Thread that can do that, and that can be very positive for the Los Angeles Valley. It just might take longer than 1 or 2 games.
Yeah, and since you're just mentioning that long haul kind of plan, that is what their assistant coaches, Gumba and Damon, told me. They said that they're looking for a solution for the Valiant long term. It's not about stages for them. It's not about winning stage 2. They are aware of the fact that these kind of changes can actually kind of hit them for one stage, but their overarching goal is to win Overwatch League. And if the changes they're making right now might hurt them in stage 2, they might work as well for stage 3 and 4. So it's a long-term investment, and so far it actually looks like it's going to pay off.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think we're still 3 weeks away from the halfway point here in the regular season. It's still very early. A lot could change. It's time to get into the match, though. I was told the players are almost ready, so let's lock this up with the official predictions. You're 1 for 1, Bren.
I am 1 for 1.
You're 1 for 1. Can't say that for Crumbs. Let's start with you. Where are we going with this one?
So, I mean, I got to go with Dallas Fuel all the way. I mean, these guys, I'm hearing the cheers, but for good reasons, right? This is a squad that was known as the best in the West, and for very good reasoning. Now they're swapping up their roles once again. They're experimenting. I feel like they've got enough solidarity now with this roster that they've brought on to take the win today against Valiant.
Going with the Dallas Fuel. I like the pick. Crumbs, you're 0-2 on the day. Who are you going to curse next?
Well, I'm not going to be able to beat Brent today.
Don't pick Dallas. Don't pick Dallas.
I think Dallas looks really a lot better right now. The fact that they held up to Seoul, almost bringing us to a Game 5. And the Los Angeles Valiant, they're still experimenting. They're on a win streak, but hey, like, you're not expecting to take these games as a win, whereas Dallas is just bringing everything they have right now.
Is it the Fuel or is it the Angel Wings? Who walks away with the victory tonight, Zoe?
Well, Puckett, since you're asking me, I am almost certain it's going to be the Los Angeles Valiant. I am bleeding green with that one. Not just because I low-key adopted Soon and Unko, who actually are my sons. Yeah, it's almost
official now, is
Swiss mother to the French son.
Exactly, that's how it works. No, I'm completely behind this team. I think they're going to pull up the win.
You're not the only one. I heard a lot of people in the crowd cheering on the Valiant. It's time to find out who is going to steal the first game in this epic 4-game series. Let's make some noise as we send it over to the casters. It's Semler and Hex for the final fight.
Thank you, Mr. Puckett. And, well, I like it that, Zoe, it's great. It resets every stage. You get to use your Swiss neutral card, definitely not holding back, especially now that there's a graphic, but I think we should make like a little Swiss flag just for her when she decides to use it, right?
Just pandering to the crowd very clearly, but why not? Everyone likes being clapped for here. I think that Dallas coming into this has a small advantage just based on the last sets that we saw from these teams. Not only did Dallas play very well, but Dallas played 3 out of these 4 maps their last set, so their practice on them, their strategies are going to be up to snuff. Whereas the Valiant had to play 3 different maps. The only map that they played in their last set that's similar in this pool is Gibraltar. Also of note for Valiant, they need to start strong. When they lose hard. They go 0-4. It seems like if things don't go well early on, they tilt off the planet and just give up on the rest of the game. So a strong start, really important for the Valiant.
It's what happens when you have 2 French players on your team.
You can say that because you're kind of French.
No, it is so sad. We are losing. No, I have lost all will to live.
Such is the life. I can't do it. It seems wrong.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'll give you that.
I'm trying.
The funny thing is that you actually have a bit of the French on French that's coming at us right now because you got AKM on the other side. Yeah. And AKM has been beasting since day 1 here in Overwatch League. He has been looking very good for Fuel.
AKM very much known for his Soldier 76, but the French connection, as it were, is that AKM, Unko, and Soon used to all be on a very dominant Western team called Rogue. Of course, a couple of those guys picked up by the Valiant. AKM now on the other side of Fuel. They're very familiar with each other's play styles and habits. Perhaps need some time to figure it out as we get a pause here.
As we get a pause, and it's like that camera time is always, yeah. See, that's what's always happening behind the camera, guys. I never stop moving, just so you know. So whenever that camera's coming back, well, there you go.
Bit frantic.
Bit frantic, bit energetic. I'm just excited because I think that this is going to be a straight fire series, Hex. There is real potential for Valiant to either just flounder completely or come out all guns blazing and really take it to the Fuel.
And Dallas really seems to have put it together the second stage as well. I mean, they were kind of, all out of sorts. They really only play well against Seoul for whatever reason. It's that they play up to their level of opponents. But I think this is the roster you're going to be seeing from Dallas coming forward now. I think they've got all the DPS that they need in AKM and Effect. Yeah. And then I think that the backline is going better. And then you get the aggression factor of XQC.
Exactly, and I feel like Mickey really plays better when XQC is in that server as well, because XQC is constant energy, constant call. He kind of matches, like they're almost on the same wavelength, just flowing into the backline and murdering everybody.
All right, absolutely. I think if Valiant is going to come out ahead, I think a lot of it is going to be on Soon, turning Unko into French toast in the backline there. And he knows where Unko is, and that's kind of where a lot of Overwatch is at. Can I get to the Zen? And it's Tracer versus Zen a lot of the times. That's going to be a really fun micro battle to watch. Soon v Unko, former friends, now enemies. Probably still friends, but like, they're frenemies.
AKM, dude. AKM versus Unko.
Oh, that's right.
I didn't want to throw you under the bus, Hex, but you did it twice.
You messed me up. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of French things going on there. I'm wrong, as always. I'm just par for the course. Tradition. All right, so AKM versus Soon. That Soldier 76 versus Tracer matchup can happen as well.
I mean, he gets to pick, like he can have that French or that French, but it's fine, backline French or, aggressive French.
We talk a lot about Soon, but there is a player on the other side of things for Dallas that goes by the name of Effect, who's been carrying this team. I think we have a bio about him right about now.
Effect DPS, Dallas Pure. 제가 처음에는 이제 제 삼촌이 이제 PC방을 운영을 해가지고 제가 가끔씩 놀러 가서 게임을 하던 스타크래프트를 하던 기억이 있는데 그때부터 이제 게임이 익숙해져서 저는 음악 하면서 항상 라틴계 쪽 음악을 좋아해서 질렸다고 해야 되나 아니면 좀 힘들다고 해야 되나 그래서 게임에 집중을 했는데 실력이 되게 좋게 늘고 사람들이 좋게 봐주셔서 계속 프로 선수로서 지망을 하고 게임을 하다가 이제 결국에 오버워치 리그에 온 것 같습니다. 저는 이제 시걸 선수라고 생각해요. 왜냐면 이제 실력도 실력대로 다 가지고 있고 팬층도 엄청 많고 좀 여러 가지 면을 고려해서 시걸 선수가 지금은 오버워치 리그 내에서 최고의 선수라고 생각하고 있습니다.
Effect reigns supreme because the man is a monster, and that's it. The Dallas Fuel get it done.
저는 한국에서 온 작은 꼬마지만 그래도 보여줄 수 있는 건 최대한 많이 보여드리고 댈러스 퓨어를 더 높게 성장시키겠습니다.
I like it. He says he's a little man, but he's a giant in the server, Hex.
Yeah, I can relate.
But he is a giant in the server. Effect, I always love watching Effect play as well, just because you know that there's this internal flame burning in his soul.
Right.
He refuses to say die. He always does his best, and he gets legitimately pissed off when they lose. Losing is not an option for Effect.
I've seen him take out some anger in these hallways.
Yeah.
He's not happy.
I think there's a couple holes in the doors back there.
Very likely some drywall work is because of Effect going through the hallways there. But man, that kind of passion is really rubs off on the team. And Effect, it's not just bluster as well. He practices probably more than anybody in the Overwatch League, or just as much. Always in the aim training games, trying to get ready, and then he's just grinding constantly. No one puts in harder work. I thought I took a strange path in esports, but Latin music,
Latin percussion. I was definitely not expecting that one, but hey, man, he moves to a rhythm. Now it all makes sense. His rhythm is death.
Absolutely doing the dance of death, the forbidden dance. We will kick it off here on Hanamura. The cherry blossoms are in bloom. Dallas Fuel wants to run an interesting kind of composition. No real set name for this. They're just going to let everyone play their good heroes. And then Harry Oaks on the Mercy in case anyone gets picked early, so they don't have to give up on fights.
All right, keeping on XUC here. I like it. He is in general the leader, but AKM in the meantime has dropped Fate like a sack of potatoes. That's a good start here. Long way back for Fate to get back into it. He has the jump back. Oh, okay, that's definitely going to help. Costa takes down Soon, and now Dallas Fuel have everything they need here to capture this first point. Already giving ground loss as well as Valiant. Just praying, hoping that Fate can get back in here in time, but it's not looking likely.
Yeah, this one is essentially over. Losing two like that is brutal. On the walk back here, Dallas Fuel showing up with the offense. Early on when they struggled in the Overwatch League, especially Stage 1, their defense was not the issue. They play very good defense on these maps. Their offense has been the issue. That's why Harry Hook's there, so that when you lose Effect, you don't have to wait for him to respawn and walk back. You can still go again, still go 6v6. Verbo almost at Valk, Harry Hook getting there.
Yeah, it's looking like they're going to be changing it up, perhaps. Effect getting caught.
That's twice.
Hey, there's no shame in dying to Soon. Soon is legitimately one of the best tracers in the game, not only in terms of aim, but in terms of just the mind games that he's constantly working. You always have to check behind you.
And it's no surprise what Dallas wants to do here. Valiant knows exactly what they want to do because it's something that they also like to play. They want to get the Soldier 76 on the high ground. It's one of the best positions to be able to close out Hanamura. Soon looking for the Stair Bomb, misses his ex-teammates in AKM, and AKM will take down Kareev.
Yeah, sick play there from Mickey. The awareness, making sure that that flank couldn't come through, denying it. Now there's a man advantage, although Verbo does manage to get the res off on Kareev, and so the Soldier is still back into this. But now we have AKM, Tac Visor, playing the pillar, trying to cut the angles, gets the second kill on Kareev yet again, and plays it perfectly. AKM not going to be able to get out in time, though. Fate hunts him down with that Tesla cannon.
Get some pressure there, both Valkyries out. They're going to bring AKM back to life, so he's still going to be a terror on that high ground. However, now Dallas loses two key components of their push because Soon cuts them down, making a triple for Soon on the Tracer as Fate makes mincemeat out of AKM on the lower level.
Let's hear some Soons in the studio. Man deserves it. He definitely did the work there to get his team back into this fight. It was definitely looking a little grim with AKM just blazing away at the start of it, already forcing the res early as well. But Soon, always capable of the big plays.
Don't say Grim, you're going to trigger all the Grim reality fans. Yet another DPS ahead of him from this Valiant lineup. Grim begging to get in there. Maybe we'll see him on some of those specialist characters, as Crumbs alluded to earlier, but Los Angeles Valiant with a wealth of DPS players is going to be hard to crack the lineup. Kareev takes down Effect. Effect dying a little too early, a little too often thus far. Need to figure out that kink.
Yeah, he's up to 3 deaths so far on this first point and second point take for Dallas Fuel. So trying to make the plays, and it's not looking pretty. So we have Dallas Fuel just resetting yet again, going towards the high ground. They still have 5 minutes on this clock, and so I suppose that makes them feel like, okay, we can keep rinsing and repeating just a little bit longer here, see if we can get them to crack.
Their first push was good enough. They're going to keep trying at this. This is the Stair of Pulse Bomb. Pulse right there, sticks it. Later, dog. 3 kills again from Soon.
So sick, just a hint of a grin there on his face as well. He knows what's up. He just pulled a big one out of the bag there.
The French don't smile, they simply smirk.
Disdain for his opponents. Oh, you want to group up, eh? All right. Do you know what happens when you group up? No Mickey there to block him out that time as well. Effect, gonna be feeling just a little bit down on himself that he wasn't able to stop that push from happening, or at least that play from happening. AKM's got the Tac Visor again, though. Once again, up onto the high ground. He's got change of angle, however. XQC shifting it up, trying to create some space, but yet again rebuffed.
Yeah, Now they're just playing both angles here, and at any given time, Unko's gonna have Transcend as well. You want to use Transcend when the visor comes out. You don't want to be Valkyring into a visor. You are dead in this giant room. There's nowhere to hide as Mercy in that situation. Effect.
The constant poke battle. Yeah, Effect definitely not on his game here to start things off. Soon has hit the ground running, and he is pulling ahead in that Tracer v Tracer battle.
They still have notions of getting this tactical visor going up top. I think you're reaching the point where you try this one more time and then you switch to something, because below 3 minutes, there's no guarantee you're going to get ultimates for switching to different heroes. Maybe you go tank heavy, maybe you go Widow, anything along those lines. A nice pick to kick it off.
That's a big kill, and now XQC is going to be over there to create more space on that left side. AKM just changing it up, looking to dodge the self-destruct, and already Harry Hook decides to bloom the wings out. Well, the wings are blooming, rather. Valk is in play.
We got a little mini game back here. He's trying to just kill the ulting Winston. Oh, Transcend on point. They're firing everything they got at this.
That is the monster kill from Soon. You just know that AKM is itching to get that tac visor in. With all those squishies out there. Shut down yet again. The pulse from Soon.
That's absolutely the moment they want Tac Visor in, because Transcend is out. Tac Visor is almost useless against Transcendence. The rate of healing is way too high. You're not doing the necessary burst damage to be able to get people down into that. That's the timing they wanted. Unko making Effect's life even worse. This has been an uncharacteristic round for Effect.
Up to 6 deaths. He's in the lead by a fair margin here.
They will rest it back up. I mean, Harry Hook's been playing Eraser. Anytime anyone dies early, they get back in full strength.
All right, well, here we go. Effect, back end. Looking for it, gets the recall out right into the thick of things. Effect really sowing discord here in the back lines, and now Kareev with the tac visor cutting Dallas Fuel in half. AKM decides to go toe-to-toe, and with the healing coming in from Harry Hook, he's able to win that duel. Envy, however, is going to take down XQC, and it's nothing but green in the kill feed.
All the way up top, Dallas used a lot of their ultimates during that. Harry Hook still has Valkyrie, and so they might stick on this hero just because of that. They're going to go back to the Zenyatta. Was on Moira for a bit, trying to get all the healing through the stairs that they needed. Man, the tank line is, we talk so much about the DPS and even the supports for the Los Angeles Valiant, but none of it's possible without Fate and then Envy as well. Envy, one of the most improved players. Still has moments where you see old Envy, but those are few and far between.
I like it, man. This duel, they both forced the recall. Soon comes out ahead in that duel, however. Effects will get topped up by Harry Hook, but Soon. Oh! The timing! So close at the pulse bomb.
Oh, there goes the Valkyrie. This is one of the last good ults for Dallas to be able to use in this fight, but despite that extra healing, Custer will fall.
What a shame that pulse didn't work. All right, well, Soon's got a pulse of his own. He's definitely looking for a target, waiting for them to commit to the fight. There's a minute left on the clock here for Dallas Fuel to make some magic happen. And Harry Hook will be able to bring the monkey back into it. Yeah, he's thinking about it, but he doesn't need to go for the pulse here. Harry Hook is so low. Just gonna get it done the old-fashioned way. Pistols, bullets, face.
If you're Soon, why even bother using the pulse bomb? It's a wasted time that you could be shooting them in the head.
It's as simple as that, Hex. For Soon, there's no mystery in life. I see.
All right. So the next incoming thing that needs to happen is XQC is going to have to prioritize. This is a beautiful camp. He's going to get Harry before he can even come back into this fight. Soon with the spawn camp dirty.
He's always a step ahead. It is disgusting to watch. If you are a Dallas Fuel fan right now, what Soon is doing should be illegal. But there is still a chance. They can still get in this with the ults coming on board here for Dallas Fuel, AKM and Custa. XQC's got the primal as well, so he can keep alive on that point, but Kareev now tac visor of his own. XQC goes leaping in. Wow, trance used quite early as well, so Kareev, so long as he's patient, as soon as that trance is out, he's got the tac to just mow him down in droves.
Well, they have to use the transfer to keep people alive, hoping that Harry can get back. He has switched to Lucio to be able to get onto this point, but you're right, once that Transcendence is gone, it is easy pickings for Kareev back here, pumping out so much damage. Dallas still has a lot of members left, but Harry dying again really hurts. No healing now for Dallas.
Yeah, no healing for Dallas, and then delay from Unko's trance, keeping his teammates alive, and now it's just a matter of time here as Dallas Fuel get whittled down to nothing. XQC not even going to be able to jump back onto the point fast enough to keep it alive for his team. A very quick point A take for Dallas Fuel, but they stumble on the B point.
I just love Soon's game sense. In stage 1, we talked so much about him backcapping, and that was his thing. You have to deal with Soon even when he's not shooting at you. It gets even worse when he starts shooting at you. And then he realizes he's got the sense, they have one more push, I can make it without the Mercy. There's no one back there at the midway point, kind of like the cutoff man in baseball. You want someone back there so the Mercy can Guardian Angel to them, then to the next step over top. There was no one back there. Mercy's walking all alone. Jeez, it's like walking alone in my neighborhood at night. Not a good idea.
I was actually getting distracted because I'm just trying to imagine what would baseball be like if you could just, you know, fly across the map to different positions.
Yeah, like Angels in the Outfield. Classic.
Yes! Reference game on point, Hex.
I watch way too much television.
But that was definitely not what we were expecting for the Fuel to come out on that B site. Not even to pick up a single tick is fairly painful for him.
Well, Dallas has been very strong on defense, so perhaps there was still a chance for them on this map on Hanamura. Hanamura's very difficult. Everyone's trying the same strategy of going up right side, but the defender's advantage is simply too strong. You got to go up those stairs. It's not a stairway to heaven, it's a stairway to pulse bomb, essentially. You get blown up there all the time. Valiant wants to kick off their offense. It seems so far like this is what we're going to see. Kareev will be playing that Widow. Well, now he switches, of course, the moment I say it, because that's just what happens in Overwatch. Let's take a look at the defense. Of course, AKM is going to be on his Soldier 76. Mickey's out here for scouting information. Harry Hook playing the Ana, which I think a lot of people are a little confused by, because generally that's going to be Chips' slot. Chips a great Ana, but Harry Hook also plays a lot more Lucio, so they want the versatility there. And then you just put AKM on Soldier and let him do his thing.
Exactly right. AKM backline. Back left as you come through the door, and they're just moving together as a unit.
Yeah, he's going to be on the rooftop here. Actually, that is the Tracer up there. Never mind.
That's effect, yeah. Got AKM back there. Another headshot. Jesus. But you need to get the kills here because Ana, that's what Harry Hook wants. He's in the perfect spot to just keep healing those tanks. He's going to get closer and closer to that Nano.
I imagine Harry Hook's going to have an encounter with Soon very shortly. They know where that healing's coming from. He can track those projectiles. He's got to be over there pressuring him, although it's not a 1v1 you necessarily always want to take as a Tracer.
Well, Effect has made his way back there, perhaps to ferry them out. Onko gets picked off by AKM, so that could stall things out here for the Los Angeles Valiant. Soon just poking at the door, nearly manages to connect with Harry Hook, and now gets onto the point. This will force some kind of reaction out of Dallas Fuel, and there you go, sure enough, trying to bait out the Helix rocket, and I'm pretty sure he did just that. Soon can still stay alive for a little bit. Oh, never mind. Harry Hook comes out of nowhere and punches him in the face.
It's just getting some pressure on there, but Dallas reacted to it perfectly. They didn't all freak out and go back there. They sent one back there, but even on the way back started doing a lot of damage and finished the targets that were already in front of them. It's not the moment they see it, they all freak out and go back, which is a valid strategy to try to pull off if you're Soon, but Dallas knew it was coming. Soon has gone to that bag a lot of times.
Now you have XQC here to mine the back line as well. In case Valiant really try to get onto the squish quick, XQC is going to be back here to try and create a little bit of space around his healers. Once again, Soon at home on the point, going to have to force a reaction here, going to have to force some kind of rotation as Mickey and Unko are trading kills back and forth. AKM will be the one to get the DMAC, however, but XQC now boosted up, nanoed, but no joy there for him. He gets snuffed immediately.
Tank's just been kind of ignoring Soon. They go after the back line as soon as Soon is in there. They know that if they just kill everything else, that they can eventually deal with Soon. A Transcend going to come out from Dallas. Dallas forced to use a lot of ultimates actually in this defense. It seems like they're going all in. It might be their best chance at this map is holding on to first point here. They just used a ton. They've got Primal Rage ready to go as well. Effect hits a pulse bomb and by AKM.
The steep drop right off the side of the cliff. That's definitely not who we wanted to see there. Fate still in this fight at half HP. Soon dropping dangerously low as well. Has to get into an angle where perhaps he can get some heals going. Recall is used. He's got the pulse so quick, and he sees him in the corner. Goes for the Hail Mary, but it doesn't connect. XQC one step ahead.
XQC was waiting for it because the last set XQC played, he got stuck about 5 times on Winston. It was absolutely brutal, and it seemed unfair. Even if you don't like XQC, you had to feel for the guy at that point in time, but he's waiting for that pulse bomb. Now the re-engagement comes. Envy looking for a little more. Can clear up this point with his self-destruct. Won't need it.
Yeah, that was a big one there on the XQC, getting caught in that corner. Mickey gets overwhelmed, and they will succeed. Los Angeles Valiant picking up the first point on Hanamura, and we will be moving into the second one in moments' time. And, well, not a whole lot of work they need to do here. 33.333 repeating, of course. % is what they need.
Yes, of course. I almost had to get my abacus there. Here's Kareev. He finds himself a nice angle over here, and if you're not watching these stairs, you don't even know where the shots are coming from. It's a lot of places where the defense wants to regroup is in that small pack room right across from those sidelines. Already putting pressure on the point. I imagine that's soon.
Yeah, exactly. Of course it's soon. So that's all he's interested in. And he made a bit of progress there. That's going to be a moment where you're kind of hesitating, although we will have Kareev having to give some ground.
Oh, nice peel.
XQC, that was sick.
Really nice peel coming back from Envy there to deal with XQC. Now Kareev is going to just camp up here. He's going to get an orb, and now Zenyatta can actually hang out with him. Bye, Custa.
Big shots. Lots of kills here for Los Angeles Valiant. They're still trying to stall things out. Effect is surviving as best he can on that point, but eventually he goes down. That buys enough time for XQC to res and get back into it, but the focus fire, it's too much here from Los Angeles Valiant.
Transcend comes in. They're still stalling out, but you got to start getting kills. It's not just a stall out game here, and now it's going to be hard to even get out. They knock them about. It has been a torrent of green in the kill feed. That's what you want for Valiant to lock it out. Got to start seeing something from Dallas to have any hope of bringing this back.
They have, and it's just not going to happen. In fact, he blinks in, but he's a split second too late, and the Valiant will get the start they were looking for. They're up 1-0 in the series versus Dallas Fuel.
It comes down to a very simple thing of being able to get your one-person setup on the point, and then when they tried to bully Kareev off, he had great peel. Envy was up there to just deal with whoever was trying to deal with it. XQC went out of the mix. That means no more bubble on the point, and Widow's sitting up uncontested. There's no one there to deal with it. It's just a simple matter of getting your right piece in your right place.
Nice job, nice job.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network.
GPS is can. Los Angeles Valiant.
Soon is one of the best tracers I feel like in this league.
My playstyle with Tracer is always aggressive. These are high mechanical heroes. We need to aim, we need to dash, we need to do a lot of things in the same moment.
Oh, pretty soon though, winning that battle.
I'm from France, so I'm a baguette. We have Koreans, we have Canadians, and we're me and Uncle, we're French, and we come to the team. Yeah, for me, it's a good family.
Los Angeles Valiant needed that so badly.
Have a team is really important in Overwatch. If you don't have the good synergy, it makes a huge difference during the match.
LA! Final moments, the Valiant make it happen.
I mean, soon, yes, he's the baguette, but Unko is like the double, triple baguette in that thing. I mean, that look at everything French about it right there.
I feel if they need a new flag, they can just toss him up there, and they'd be like, well, clearly that's the French flag right there.
I'm impressed.
Like, there's also synergy between Soon and Unko, the Zenyatta and the Tracer working together, getting the orb, and now since like you have to be in the sight lines to get orbs, but also chasing the purple balloon, man. When someone's discorded, Tracer gets on them, that discord orb over the head, they're gone. And so it's just about coordinating, like, I got this guy discorded and then just gone.
Tracer always wants to be at the party. I get it. You know, that's where it is. The direction is always there. We don't have any subs, guys, coming in. There are no subs. There will be no change up in these rosters going into this next map. Next map is going to be Nepal. And so it will be Control, and I do expect to see soon continue to hit this level. Question is whether Effect is going to step up here, because on that first map, Hanamura, he really had a rough start.
Yeah, you guys saw the stat card in the break there, and he was 11 and 11 eliminations and deaths. That's an equal KDR, but even eliminations aren't like I did the full-on kill. It's you were involved. So that is a stat line that he is not proud of, but you got to forget about that and move on. Perhaps find different targets. Maybe, I don't know, play a different hero. He can play a good Genji at some point. Maybe it's just not working on Tracer. You find something else. He's got a big pool, but also sometimes as Tracer, like, I just had a bad round. It's fine. I had a bad round. You get hit by stuff you weren't expecting. Sometimes someone turned around. You're like, there was no reason they should have done it. You know, it just gets crazy. You stick to it. We are going to Nepal. Control maps are very good for Tracer, so I'd expect Effect to stand on that. I think when we get to Shrine is when we're going to see AKM more onto the Soldier 76. It's a much better Soldier 76 map, but you can make this map as well work.
You do have that high ground.
The village, in the high ground. So you can actually go up on the high ground and then fire into the village below. On the other side of things, it does seem like Kariv wants to run a Pharah, which can be very good, but the counterplay to this is to hide on the point and in the hut around it. And it really becomes on the other team to get in there and deal with it. So I think if they want to run a Pharah and a Reaper, that's actually a really good combo, because if you want to hide in a house, then you just send the Reaper in and he cleans house.
Make my day, Valiant. Come, no. I was looking forward to that for a second there. Quad DPS?
You see, that's why we never really try to look at it before the round starts, because everyone always switches up. We will get that Pharah in the sky, so you want to see AKM versus Kariv. Soldier 76 versus Pharah. Of course, AKM will need help. He's going to have to get that Discord out of the sky. Everyone very low for Dallas, soon chunking through these health bars.
Holy hell, that's a lot of damage done already. Unko leading the way. He takes Effect out again, but soon we'll be there to take AKM, and this is looking fairly good here for the Los Angeles Valiant.
And they got a couple more kills here, still got their main tanks alive as well. Discord is going to be an effect for them as they're able to take down a couple of people. Got Zenyatta in the corner. Nice peel, though, for Mickey. Gets in there, helps his team out.
Yeah, I mean, Mickey has definitely got the fight in him, but that point is now active, and it's looking like Los Angeles Valiant should be able to pick it up. They will be a last-second challenge. XQC just goes leaping in, but Unko, with all that hurt, with all those orbs, he's already got Transcendence, survives it, and Los Angeles Valiant will start to gather percentage on this first point here on Nepal.
I think that's a Transcend that's almost like a smug Transcend. Right in XQC's face, he's like, you want to know how much damage I did to your team during that first fight? I already have Transcend. And also not worried about it because I'm just going to charge it up that fast. Unko is one of the best, just pure mechanical Zenyatas in all the Overwatch League.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's happy he doesn't have to play Mercy anymore.
I would imagine, yes.
Definitely happy. The smirk, we'll see plenty of it.
Maybe not happy, he is French.
He is French after all. He is less melancholy, you know, more you know, smug. But yeah, he is definitely feeling it because he's keeping up with his DPS in terms of damage dealt, even in terms of final blows.
AKM takes it over though, takes down Unko, takes down Soon. He is the rogue survivor now, taking down his former teammates. He's got Tactical Visor up next. Well, you just cursed him, Semler. Unko onto Mercy. How dare you? It's to help out Kariv a lot. Of course, Mercy and Pharah work together, peanut butter and jelly style. And also, if Kariv goes through this barrage, the odds are he's gonna die. That's how barrage works in Overwatch. It's very difficult to get one off and live through it, so Unko's gonna be there to bring him back to life.
Oh, well, already on edge, and there we go, Tac Visor immediately. That shield will get worn out. They're doing a very good job of closing off the angles, however, Valiant not really giving AKM too much room to work with this ultimate. In the meantime, that leaves Harry Hook exposed. Envy will find the kill on him. No mercy in this fight for Dallas Fuel. And Kariv fully committing with the barrage. They need to get on the point, though. Remember, that's where the fight's happening here if you're Valiant. They do win the fight straight up, but they are eventually going to be able to turn it.
You kind of won the fight, but there's a swing back. While they were capping the point, they left a couple people alone. Effect and AKM will feast on them. So you have to question, was it worth getting the 8%, 9% that they got? Now if they can get some good stall out, they can, but they're a mile away from good stall out. Else Dallas takes it right back.
But there we go. Whatever Diva said.
Are you sure it wasn't just GG? Is this easy mode? She's got the most grating lines.
Yes, she really, really does.
Yeah, come on.
Of course, the game is on. You're in the server. You're playing it right now, Diva. Get with the program.
It's going to be difficult for Kariv to find entry here because AKM is all over him. He's going to have to go around probably to the far side, come up over the house, not where he's coming in now because he's just getting pelted down. They're putting some pressure on the point. Of course, it's soon on the point. Unko has used his Valkyrie ability.
Unko's used the self-destruct. Bubble could go before it goes off. However, yes, and they play it safe, Valiant. They do manage to get back around that corner. No kills for the self-destruct, and that sets it up for Soon. In the chaos, he picks AKM. And so Soon continues with his reign of terror. Verbo's got the sound barrier, decides to commit it. Just a second too late to stop the DMAC on Envy.
Yeah, almost got him. He really wanted to get Envy there too. He thought he was going to get him. That's why he peeks around that corner to make sure he was in sight lines to do so. Beyond all of this, Valiant's committing ultimates when they didn't even have control of the point. Kariv comes in, takes down his main threat, might be able to bring this back now that there's no one to poke from the sky.
Well, let's see, making progress here. Verbo hitting some shots at least. Effect just waiting to dart around the corner. He's got his tank there, his buddy, his pal, his doggy. There to zap people with him, but it's a matter of actually winning these fights. There's only so much Effect can do, especially when Harry Hook's got to back off. Soon, he knows who he wants to get on here.
They're going to back out. It's time for Dallas to reset as well. Kariv stayed alive most through that fight. Got a nice barrage in there that he needed to get. Last fight for the first stage of Nepal will be incoming. 80% and counting, 99 already for Dallas. Custa has switched back to Zenyatta. Knowing that there's just one fight, no need to stay on what he was on. He's going to go to his comfort hero. Soon, almost with another pulse bomb. Unko nearing that Valkyrie as well as Harry Hook, so that could be a big thing to watch who dies before they get it.
And Soon wastes no time in committing with the pulse bomb as well. Just chucks it out there. Unko is gone, though. This is a big issue. A lot of healing is gone now for Valiant, and this is Mickey going to work. Oh, there we go. AKM, the Tac Visor. Ah, the smugness. You can feel it from here. Overtime's a burning down. And that will be a point pickup here to start things off on Nepal for Dallas Fuel.
Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey. 4 kills there towards the end, absolutely clutching it. He was actually a big reason why Kariv didn't have a giant game on the Pharah. You think of traditional Pharah counters as a McCree, a Widow, Soldier 76 doing damage. Well, Diva's a nightmare for Pharah. She gets up in your face and you're not able to get any damage in. She's got 400 something HP, got all that armor, so even when you're chunking her, she's right there. You're hurting yourself more than you're hurting her. Those guns straight up when she's that close to you wreck you, and now they gave her rockets. Yeah, you want to fight with rockets? I got your rockets. She can be so annoying, and at the very least, if she doesn't do a ton of damage to the Pharah, she's making the Pharah waste her time and waste rockets. So nice play there by Mickey. We're gonna see some people try to get yanked into the pit from Dallas. They're gonna go pretty static defense. The Halt and Hook combination on board. Valiant wants to run something similar, but they're gonna go for a shield crack flavor of this, where they add projectile DPS in.
Yeah, they get that Junkrat into the mix, and he can definitely melt shields quick. That might make it difficult for XQC. Oh, never mind. He gets the Halt to work. yanks Fate into his death, and that sets it up perfectly here to get the hard point defense going. Keeping an eye on things. Ults definitely climbing pretty quick here for Dallas Fuel. It looked a little hairy with that shield. It looked like SUC was under a bit of pressure, but that halt, it just changes everything when he managed to get rid of Fate.
Well, that shield was going to blow up immediately. Valiant was running a Pharah and a Junkrat, which is designed to crack the shields and win you the stair fight. Unko takes down Effect, who challenges the wrong man yet again in the backlines. That's a nice opening here for Valiant.
Yeah, well, there you go. Revenge. Oh, no, definitely not revenge. Sue just keeps actually pummeling him in there. Dude. Keeps up the fine work. Unko has definitely got Effect's number today, though.
It's a really nice halt there towards the end, actually, from Fate to make sure that Harry Hook did not get out alive on the Mercy. That's time spent in spawn. That's time before the next Valkyrie. Gives Verbo the decisive advantage now at 15%. It's a small window to take advantage of. You might not even need to use it, but it's one of those things that if you can kill someone on retreat, why not? Soon lurking, though.
Yeah, they have no idea. There we go. Target of choice. That Mercy would have been great. Instead, it is going to be just him pumping rounds into the tanks. Now he has got his pulse bomb. He could definitely be looking for the opening to get a big stick if they stay grouped up behind the shield. Guess what? That's exactly what happens. You want to get behind a shield? You want to hide from me? Soon with 3. What? Yeah, there we go. There we go. There's 4. There's 5. No, Kareem, what are you doing? Get with the program. This is Soon's show.
I'm speechless. I got nothing to say there. The crowd's right. Just Soon. That's all there is to say about that. You saw it with your own 2 eyes, killing absolutely everybody. It's a gutsy call to go for an Orisa and a Hog there too, because they both have things that can get them out of Pulse Bomb. Must have got the information from his team because it wasn't on his screen that the Harden had already been used for Orisa, making sure that bomb damage goes through and then cleaning up the rest of it. Absolutely beautiful play from Soon.
And well, Soon is just making himself a nuisance over here. 70% gain for Valiant on the point. So Pro nearly gets it, but Mickey managed to dart back in time. Soon in the back line. Now, not exactly where you want him, but that XQC pasted into the corner by Envy with the help of Kareev. So far, the defense holds here for Valiant. Things, well, it's not going to get pretty. Effects caught in the corner. He could go down. Big stagger coming in. Soon and Envy working together as a duo.
One of the best compliments you can get as a Tracer is when the enemy team's Tracer switches to McCree. It means you have absolutely done your job, that the comms are enough of like, please, someone do something about this Tracer. There is no answer for Soon, and Valiant force us to a stage number 3 here on Nepal.
Battling back, refusing to say die, and well, second man on your screen there Soon. Doing fantastic work. I mean, Fate, Envy as well, the tank duo. Everybody standing out right now for Los Angeles Valiant. There are very few mistakes being made that Dallas Fuel are able to pounce on and really take advantage of.
You know how you know Soon's feeling it though, is because he saw that Diva, and perhaps he's tracking defense matrix, very likely is, and then just goes right to her face with a pulse bomb. Granted, he missed it, but the hubris involved of like pulse bomb into a Diva's face, like just nah, right there. Take it, take it.
For some reason, I just picture you throwing like a wadded up paper,
like
paper towel or something like that.
That's where that goes, right in your face. All right, well, we are on the shrine for all the marbles here on Nepal. Of course, Los Angeles Valiant with a 1-0 series lead thus far. This is where you're going to see a lot of soldier battles. They're going to post up in different spots. They both get to the mid fight pretty quickly. Of course, Dallas going to have the better mid fight positioning because they got Lucio there. Already trying to take over here. And if I'm Dallas, I find an answer for Soon and deal about the rest later.
Well, it seems like the dive the back line is the answer. Mickey going to get D-Max for his troubles, though. That could open him up to death. He is battling back, and Soon with the help of Harry Hook. Both Mickey and Harry Hook doing the work. AKM does manage to follow it up with a kill on Envy as well. And it's looking like Dallas, they managed to push that edge just a couple seconds earlier. There we go, the stick from Effect. Perfect work.
Take down Kareev, and now I'm not really certain why Valiant is still fighting into this mix. This fight's been over for a little bit now, just adding some on. Effect finally comes to life. Perhaps needed the inspiration of seeing the other Tracer go off and say, oh yeah, I can do that as well. Gets a triple on cleanup duty. Look at Soon though, he's lurking. He's down by Statue right now. Statue and Stairs, they don't know he's there.
Tracer can really be that fight. It's like, anything you can do, I can do better. And then Soon is just getting in there.
Look,
he's got that pulse.
No.
Exactly, like he's herding them into the corner. Recall has been used, but he's fine because he can actually just dart in if he wants, if he just gets them to group. AKM, however, is going to come through. Soon commits with the pulse on to Mickey, gets that D-Max, fair enough. AKM with attack visors getting overwhelmed, and he does get caught in the end. Envy sacking himself just to guarantee the frag.
Early on, they are going to try to flip this one back over. Will secure all the kills that they need. But that soon initial dive, the moment he started firing, that's when the Discord orb showed up. That's the synergy that pre-exists between these two players, Unko and Soon, for having played so long together. The comms are absolutely there, unable to finish that clip, but had he gotten that kill, it would have been entirely because of the Discord being on the soldier the moment he attacked. Valiant have taken back over 57% on the board, though, for the Dallas Fuel.
So he just keeps hitting volleys, keeps hitting orbs, and he's got the trance here ready to go as well. Verbo with Valk. There is the advantage, but Dallas Fuel decided to commit to this. Sound barrier used by Harry Hook to try and initiate things, and that is brutal. Sound barrier, and still XQC gets melted.
Lost effect early in that fight as well. Now it's just the chase and the cleanup. Can AKM turn and fight? He cannot, not enough there. Soon will rewind. He is still on fire. Got a pulse bomb waiting. I want to see where he sets up, actually. There's two really nice flanks. Also, the top level here is a darn good idea. He can sit in the corner and wait for them to come in. He doesn't even need sight. That's what his team's for. His team's going to give him the comms of where these targets are. Reveals himself because it's just been that kind of day.
And there you go. And there you go. It's just like a horror movie, man. You hear the footsteps, but you cannot see the Tracer until she's dropping a bomb on you. Kareev, long range, gets the punish on XQC, who leapt in, hoping to lead the charge for his team. Instead, it's an early grave that waits for him. And Kareev has now got the attack visor as well.
They forced out that Primal Rage by hitting the stick on him. That's the only reason XQC is able to survive during that pop. Primal Rage got on the point and then quickly dispatched by Kareev's waiting arms over here. They've got a beautiful setup. Long range headshot from Kareev. Dallas has to try something here. It's 85% and counting. They don't necessarily have the time to do a full reset. It's never the position you want to be in a Tracer v Tracer to be running away, because that's free shots for the other Tracer. You would never really want to turn your back. Oftentimes, the best course of action is to turn and fight and hope.
Well, we do have the trance right into it. AKM, not going to be, he's actually just valuable time getting wasted there on that attack visor, and now Soon has found as Mickey is going to get punched in the face by Fate.
Get in here, try to clean up the rest. It has been all Los Angeles Valiant thus far. They're going to flip it back over. Meanwhile, Dallas had grabbed this point at some point in time. Has been counting up at 99%. Burning, they're going to get them off the point, and the Valiant should unceremoniously take over. On Nepal here, Valiant up 2-0 in the set.
And what fantastic work. We can hear a bit of the Soons there in the crowd. The man definitely deserves credit, but everybody right now, Valiant, you didn't quite know what to expect from them coming into this match. Dallas Fuel felt like it could be a very even matchup, but right now, they just seem to be communicating better. They seem to be on point, Los Angeles Valiant, and they are just taking over. Still not over here for Dallas Fuel. They can keep their hopes alive going into the third map after the break.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. Omened by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League.
It's been all soon so far as the Valiant hold on to a dominant 2-0 lead at the break. So many pulse bombs, so much damage. Welcome back, everybody. It's Puckett. I got the desk once again. It's the breadcrumbs combo. And we've had some interesting days of predictions. Some things have gone as planned.
Let's not talk about
Let's talk about the game.
Yeah.
Who cares about predictions?
Let's jump right into Hanamura here because that was the first game in our 4-match set. So let's talk about Kariv because this was our DPS player from the Valiant. He's coming in. He used to play Mercy in Stage 1. You saw him on the Zenyatta. Now you see him on the Widow. You see him on the Soldier 76. And it looked like Dallas Fuel was just not prepared for this.
So when I looked at this matchup, the first thing that came to my mind was how is the Dallas Fuel going to deal with a Widowmaker? Because the Seoul Dynasty clearly showed that Widowmaker was their answer to AKM. When he was playing Soldier and Pharah, they would just bust out Widow, and they had no way to deal with him. Kariv, such a flexible player, once again plays a Widowmaker, and Dallas does not have an answer for it again. So that's kind of worrying. If you got a player that can be such a consistent threat on so many heroes, you need to adapt.
I was quite surprised by Verbo actually in this game because when we saw him on the Mercy, I know you had a few concerns. Puckett, you made mention to it because traditionally Verbo hasn't been too good on the Mercy role, but he actually only had about 3 deaths to his name in the first map. So I mean that's a pretty good time staying alive, survivability. I think a lot of this plays around mainly the tanks of Valiant just being so good. You know, you got Fate and Envy. These two guys are a ridiculous combo, almost on the same league as a lot of these other top teams like Seoul, like London, like New York. You know, you're getting really the best of the bunch of these guys.
This is some of the best we've seen out of the Valiant tanks so far, and they've taken home a number of Player of the Match honors. But for me, it's been all about the Tracers, and you talked about Verbo not dying. Well, I think one man on the Dallas Fuel is very aware of that, and that's Effect. He is getting shut down, not nearly the same level of efficiency that we've seen from the Fuel Tracer in the past. Look at the numbers as he stacks up against Soon. Pretty similar in overall damage, but then you look at the pulse bombs. The first game, Soon was 3 for 4 at one point. I remember Effect was 1 for 6. The eliminations tells the story, though. 62 to just 31 with very similar time played. Soon is winning this match.
And the final blows. You've got 20 more on Soon. You really have to give it to him. He's having an amazing game, whereas Effect struggling to find footing. This guy is a cornerstone of the Dallas Fuel. If he's not popping up, they are struggling, and that's exactly what's happening, whereas Soon is having a field day. He's getting quads all over the place.
So one thing I have noticed as well is there's a conscious effort to try and shut down Effect because Valiant have obviously realized that he is, as you mentioned, Crumbs, one of the key pieces, the cornerstones of this Dallas Fuel roster. So you kind of bring him down and suddenly you have a much better chance of trying to win the subsequent games. And that's happened throughout the entire game. And it's mainly been Envy on the Diva, in fact. I've been paying close attention to him. Effect has been trying to go for these ballsy plays into the backlines. He's been trying to deal with the support backlines, but every time Valiant's tank duo just seemed far too good at sort of peeling for them.
I mean, they're killing AKM a lot. We just saw him die like 5 times.
You can see that target focus. Kariv, you know Soon's going to be there as well. Everyone's going for AKM, and if that Soldier 76 is out, that means your tanks are most likely staying up, and you're going to keep control of the map. We didn't see it just on Hanamura, though. In Nepal, Soon was going off again. Stage 2, you saw him winning it. He was on a 10-kill streak. That took him to round 3. But where did Dallas go wrong? Because they started our second map with the first heat in their back pocket.
That was looking pretty good, wasn't it? I mean, they won the initial round out. It wasn't convincing. It was very backwards and forward between these two teams. And it really just comes down once again to this DPS battle that's been occurring between them. Because, I mean, I made mention in the pre-show to Kariv having great mechanical skill, but so do AKM and Effect. So where do they play into this? Well, we've already talked about them getting shut down throughout the game. And it didn't really change too much here. I mean, this initial round was a good example of Valiant changing up their game plan a little bit and trying to avoid to try and shut them down. And they lost the round, and then they switched it around for the next few rounds. They started coming back into it with a game plan. AKM was having less and less effectiveness, essentially, across the board. I could probably throw in a pun about Effect there as well with that last sentence I just used. I'm not intelligent enough for that, Crumbs.
He did get a quad, but as we saw, he only had 32 overall elims. How do you unlock Effect in the second half? Because if you're a Fuel fan, you know you have basically lived by the success of your Tracer.
I think you gotta go with Mickey. Mickey's the guy with playing Diva. You have the ability to basically keep anybody you want alive. Your defense matrix, if you're hugging around the DPS, they will be living way longer than anybody else. So as long as Mickey decides, you know what, instead of diving, let's go ahead and peel back. Let's protect AKM. Try to eat some of those pulse bombs that Soon is building up so fast. Maybe try to help AKM a little bit.
So I will say this much as well. I think the next two maps that we're going to be seeing are suiting Dallas a little bit better compared to Valiant. Valiant haven't looked too hot on Gibraltar, to be honest. I believe we're going to Hollywood as well, so it kind of plays into a similar playstyle. Me and Reinforce were talking about it earlier on. I went into the back rooms and had a chat with him again. Don't know what he's doing here on his day off, but I guess he just loves Overwatch. He's just a keen beaver. But all around, like, and we were both in agreement that this is the time for Dallas to come back. I mean, we're a little bit worried right now, but there's still opportunities for them, and these are maps that they are comfortable on. If they work on their mistakes in the halftime, if they go back and chat with Coach Kai, you know, I'm thinking things might be looking up.
I'm told Reinforce is out there in the crowd somewhere. Keep your eyes out for the sneaky beaver. Guys, that is going to do it for halftime. But before we go, let's talk a little bit about settings, right? One guy who really loves his settings is Seagull from the Dallas Fuel. And this is Game Set, sponsored by Omen by HP.
That's another shot from Seagull.
Here comes Seagull's blade.
Seagull gets both supports. Oh my God, you're dead.
I'm Brandon Larned. I go by Seagull Online, and I'm a player for the Dallas Fuel. Some PCs can be defaulted to conserve the most power, not actually provide the most performance, and that can provide a lot of issues in the game. So the first thing I do when I get onto new PC is go to power and sleep settings. We're going to make sure we're selected on high performance. The next thing I do is I go to the graphics card drivers. The biggest thing is power management. You want to make sure it is set to maximum performance. Note that the default is optimal power. Then we're going to go to the gaming section in Windows. When you get to here, you're going to want to turn off open game bar and show game bar when you have full screen games. One setting that I'll talk about that I do a lot differently than anyone else is something called G-Sync. Essentially, G-Sync gives you no tearing. Tearing is when your monitor hasn't fully finished drawing a frame across your screen before it pulls out another one. You're talking about 1 ms of input lag, something I physically cannot even feel. For the removal of all screen tearing, that's a trade-off I'm willing to make. I have G-Sync on in the drivers. I have V-Sync on in the drivers. And then you're going to want to go in-game, cap your FPS 3 under your refresh rate, which is, in my case, 237 at 240 hertz, and turn V-Sync off. And that is how you properly apply G-Sync.
Grayson's been outclassed, and that's not where you want to find yourself.
Perfectly done by Seagull.
It just comes down to what you're comfortable with. Once you get into such fine details of potentially 1 to 2 ms of input lag, the placebo of like what's in your head is more important than your settings. And so doing what makes you comfortable is the most important.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
LA Valiant are currently in the lead 2-0 against the Dallas Fuel, but don't count the Fuel out. They can definitely pull that reverse sweep. If anybody can, it's them. And the LA Valiant, they're going to want to win this one out 4-0 because, as I always say, every map matters. Now, guys, it's a bit of a momentous occasion happening here in Los Angeles because we just had our first official proposal happen here at the Blizzard Arena. Everybody, meet Keith and Deandra. These two just had their proposal. Keith, I gotta ask you, man, where'd you guys meet?
Temple of Anubis.
Temple of Anubis.
Yep.
On Overwatch.
On Overwatch.
That is beautiful. That's totally beautiful. And why did you decide to do your proposal here?
Well, it all started from Overwatch, so we decided why not start our lives in Overwatch.
That is lovely. Guys, I just love love. I love love so much. Yo, thank you guys so much for sharing your love with the world. Everybody give Keith and Deandra a hand. Don't you guys love love? I love it. I love it. All right, guys. Well, we got one more half to go in this game, so let's go ahead and send it over to our casters, Simler and Hex.
Thanks, Malik. And I mean, thank you to the lovely couple. What a fantastic end to the evening, no matter how this series turns out. That is beautiful.
Congratulations. Takes a lot of guts to ask someone that question in front of a group full of people.
Yeah, no way.
You better know she's saying yes there.
I mean, it's not, I mean, over the years, man, Blizzard games really bring people together. I mean, hell, one of the great legends himself, Grubby, he proposed to Cassandra, you know, at a Blizzard event, at a BlizzCon, I believe. So, I mean, it's just like, video games. I gotta love them. You gotta love them, Hex.
Love, love. We are going to Hollywood, and appropriately enough, I love this map. The sun is shining out there. We've seen that view from the freeway. Your balcony actually is a beautiful view of the Hollywood sign. We've been up there hanging out.
It is kind of trippy to walk out on the street and see the Hollywood sign every morning.
It's a little bit surreal for us here, living the life out here in Los Angeles. All right, so this is where teams, coaches, GMs really make their money. Halftime adjustments, right? You're down 2-0. We've seen reverse sweeps in the Overwatch League plenty of times. I thought when a couple of the teams have pulled back the reverse sweeps, I was like, give the coach player of the day, because the adjustments that they made in halftime were enormous. For Fuel, the tank plate needs to coordinate and improve. I think it's got to be very difficult for Mickey's Diva, playing with a Winston like Coco early on, who's very passive, plays a more defensive Winston. And then you have the polar opposite in XQC, who sees anything, goes right after it. He was dying a little too early because Mickey wasn't there. You need to find the right mix of passive and aggressive. I'm passive-aggressive personally, and it's working out fine.
Yeah, exactly. You are the best of both worlds, Hex. You have the perfect balance between the two. It's true. That's why we get along so well. I've thought personally that with XQC in there, you'd have a more vocal member, right? Because Mickey himself has kind of spoken. We've heard this several times in interviews where the communication flows a bit better.
Yeah. I mean, XQC is very vocal on his stream and when he's playing in queue and on ladder alone. I actually have heard that he's not so much the exact same person when you put him in a team environment. So maybe not necessarily making all the calls there. But, you know, XQC had to ride the pine for a while in stage 1. So you got to get used to playing with this kind of new roster. This is Dallas's newest iteration of the roster. A lot of pieces to work with. I think you just go around AKM. You acquire the guy for a reason. Let him do his work. Everyone protect AKM. See what he can get done.
I will say, definitely a chance for that here as XQC already leading the charge. You have AKM playing the Pharah.
Defensive Pharah is something you don't necessarily see a whole lot here on Hollywood, but they must have scouted this out thinking that they need the pressure over the top. They're going to run a Orisa as well, so no one really in the cafe, no real good targets to dive. And now the air war will continue.
Wow, fascinating to see the difference here.
That concussion needed to hit there. He's wanting to get out, but he's making the best of a bad situation. Hits one on Verbo. The follow-through's there. Beautiful call.
Excellent work from Mickey. There's the follow-through. That's what you're waiting for. But then you forget there's the man called Soon, and Unko's here as well. In fact, does find the kill on his enemy Tracer, though. And so this is the turning point. Dallas Fuel should be able to overwhelm Los Angeles Valiant in this moment. Fate, a whole hail of bullets straight to the face.
Effect has entered the game after some lackluster maps for him. He shows up big there. That was such a weird situation because I think AKM missed his concussion blast. I think he wanted out there, but it hit the angle of the roof in such a way that the shingling made it not work out for him. He ended up going downward, not his intent. Then hits a rocket, makes the best of a bad situation.
Yeah, that big kill on Tahiri. That, well, not on Tahiri, my mistake. Verbo definitely kicked things off. Now we get to see high ground occupied by Los Angeles Valiant. It is going to be Envy and Fate just doing the dance. keeping an eye on things.
One of the reasons I love Hollywood is you really don't run the first thing that you run on second a lot of the time unless these teams that are really obsessed with dive do so. You see switches immediately. AKM off of the Pharah, Kariv onto the Widow, so they're going to battle each other again in different heroes.
Well, barrier is down. That's going to limit Kariv's options here as the Inversight is in play. He can see through walls now, as the rest of his team as well. And there's a reflect, a bit dicey. AKM does get body shot down, but he survives. Great healing. X2C gets into the fight, takes a bullet to the head, and that's definitely not what he was hoping for.
Able to get a really nice shot in there. Harry Hook's going to resurrect XQC. They want to keep this push going, and Transcend comes out for Valiant, and they have a Valkyrie to fall back on as well.
Custa is all the way back on the payload, just hoping that his teammates stay in line of sight, or they just die swift deaths, where he doesn't have to feel bad. I couldn't have healed through that anyway. I couldn't have done anything, Hex.
Pretty brutal there. You get the full team kill coming out for the Valiant. The game is nice enough to announce it for you because it's a special occasion. You did everything you possibly could do. AKM now switching over to the Soldier 76, what some would consider his home and comfort hero. He's so consistent on his 76. There's some 76s who have monster games or doing everything, then get completely shut down. Not the case for AKM. He's always at a high level, no matter what the situation is for his 76.
Yeah, good job changing up on the angles here as well. I like it. Kariv trying to stay one step ahead. It's like, okay, fair enough. They made it past the street. I'm not going to see them there again. Change it up immediately and see if I can find that pick. Envy will remove Harry Hook, though. And that is big. A lot of healing lost. And the transport's out by Custa as well. They don't have a whole lot of throughput here for this next fight, Dallas Fuel. It could get dicey.
Resurrection is down for the Valiant. They brought Kariv back to life. They're still holding on to the Valkyrie. Unko's nearing another Transcendence again. That's what a monster he is with the damage orbs on the ground. They will get a couple kills, and that is enough to send Dallas back to spawn, rethinking their game plan here. Dallas, not a whole lot to work with. Valkyrie's fine, not most often thought of as the best initiation ult. It's something you want to do during a fight, get that spread healing going, and there's a Valkyrie on the other side of things anyway.
And pretty soon you're going to have an Unko on the roof. Interesting. Lots of damage being dealt to Dallas Fuel to kick this fight off soon. However, down to half HP. Gonna have to be a little bit careful, and never mind, Harry Hook will find the kill on him.
Well, like it was in the Mercy meta, it is not when you die, it is where you die. Soon as in a position, there's no possible way they can get back to him to resurrect him, so he's just left for dead back there. They're gonna use this chance to push in 6v5. I think that the Valiant have a better answer to a Valkyrie Mercenary, though, as they have a Widow.
Well, Fate sacks himself to take Mickey with them, and so they do the one-for-one trade. The dance, as the wings come out, we will have Unko just try to hold his own here. Trance is still here, but he's playing so patiently, just waiting on using it.
I mentioned that a Widow's a great answer to a Valkyrie Mercenary. Harry Hook took matters into his own hands and was able to kill Kariv while he was in Valkorn with his own pistol. Then he uses the Resurrection. Will finally fall, but that's a clutch play from Mercy. AKM's got him in his sight.
But Unko's patience pays off. The Trance is there to cancel out AKM's tack visor. No kills for him. XQC, the lone monkey, leaping into the back line. And while Effects is still here doing damage, Soon has got spotted on him, or his eyes on him at least. But they will have to back off and regroup here, Dallas Fuel.
He's got him pushed back. He also knows where Effect is going as well. He's just going to be hunting packs. I don't think he wants to let him get to the roof. No choice, though.
Yeah, gonna get top back up again. Caught in the corner, but a little bit of ult percentage there. Ult charge for his healers. And well, it's just all over the place right now. We go into the bend, approaching the second point, and well, Valiant, they've done a good job of just backing up slowly, giving ground, making Dallas Fuel earn it, and there we go. Opportunities present themselves to those who are patient. Soon, perfect stick on XQC.
It's like XQC is made of static electricity and pulse bombs or rogue socks. They were just always finding him, not only today, but yesterday as well. It seems like he's a magnet for these things. It's been brutal for him, and you know what? That's gotta just be super frustrating no matter how calm you are.
Yeah, take out the tanks and then get the cleanup on the squishies afterwards. It seems like that's the game plan, because soon he's just reserving those for the big beefy targets. Envy will be able to get it to the mech just in time. Looking a little dicey. Yeah, well, this is just going to be straight cleanup. 30 seconds left, and it's nothing but green in the kill feed.
30 seconds left. However, here's the silver lining.
No.
Yeah, they're going to stagger him because they can't let him just get back. He's not going to pop Primal here. This is terrible. XQC not going to be able to join the fight. He will be able to jump back in anyway if they choose to fight without him in the Primal, but you want your Winston as your initiator. That's going to slow down the next push, going to put them in a rough situation. Silver lining, 5 ults about to come online for the Dallas Fuel. They have the ultimate advantage by a large margin unless Soon can put an end to it before it starts. looking for it, lurking. He does find a lone Zenyatta in the backline. Custa's gone, AKM's gone.
Oh, Effect, however, will be able to find that kill. Surprising. They really didn't realize that Soon's recall was on cooldown.
Yeah, they don't even care about the cart. They're going to finish up whoever's coming in. They know that if they finish whoever's coming in, they can get back here to the 6v5. Verbo is down, but AKM paid for that kill.
And then they lose their Mercy. Will kill yours, but XQC, you can't forget. The man is still alive, getting just a little bit more progress on that point. Overtime Wick is gone. And that will be the end of the push for the Dallas Fuel.
XQC does not look happy right there. Of course, if you're catching pulse bombs for the last 2 days in a row, there's not a whole lot to be happy about. Need Mickey to pump this team back up. He is the mascot of, well, I hope the Overwatch League. I want him mascot of my life. There's no better PMA than Mickey.
I mean, you have Custa, you know,
still smiling.
A bit of the face palm
Still
going.
smiling.
I mean, Mickey, he just keeps up, man. He is the Energizer Bunny. He never stops. Even got pink hair.
Like the Energizer, yeah, all right.
Yeah, you see it, link. There's the link.
Yeah, Valiant just looks kind of bored with the entire situation. There's Soon.
Yes, we are ready to switch sides. We're ready to get this countdown begun here.
And Kareev, one of the most well-rounded players in all of the Overwatch League, plays a monstrous support, and then he just jumps on any DPS. Of course, the desk was talking about, too, he's got history with the coach. He used to play DPS under that coach before on his former team, so when the coach came in, he said, why is Kareev not a DPS? Put him back. And it also lets Verbo get in the game, and this meta is very good for Verbo. Verbo's one of their best, I think, maybe the best Mercy on the team behind Kareev. Sometimes didn't get a lot of playing time because they wanted to run both Kareev and Unko at the same time. But then when you need a Lucio, Verbo's top of the world in Lucio play, so the meta's working out very well.
Quick adjustments being made here from Valiant, at least in week 2. Week 1 definitely looked a little spotty there, but it seems like it's coming together now for the Los Angeles hopefuls. Dallas Fuel are the ones, well, they have to hold. They nearly did it on Hanamura. They looked very good on defense on Hanamura at least, and so we have a hard point here for them to kind of just set foot down, get that hard point going. XQC with the barrier.
They're going to look for this opening volley from Custa, who's killed people before, right out the gates with this volley from Zenyatta. That's why they take the left door. If you saw it right there, through the right door was a huge damage-boosted Zen volley, but they know it. They studied the tape that Valiant did. I think it was, at the top of Twitter, so not hard to find.
Ooh, buddy. Well, Kareev right into the action, whether he likes it or no, and while he nearly gets the one shot onto Effect, that was cutting pretty close. But they're already on the point, getting progress. Fate with the Ryan is bashing people to bits. And while Harry Hook is doing the best he can to try and keep his tanks alive, trying to keep him in this fight, XQC has now got that barrier up, but they're stuck in the coffee shop asking for lattes, and they're all out.
Probably working on that movie script like everyone else in a Starbucks here. They will just cut him through the door. No defense in place there for Dallas. Here come the mass switches on both sides of things. Not going to run the same. Unko switched off. I believe he was on Moira with Coalescence there. Just switches off to the Zen. That's how little they value that ultimate, and rightly so. Coalescence is great for straight lines, King's Rowish, but here, people are going to be on rooftops. Crossing the streams doesn't do a whole lot for you.
For leading the charge and showing the way, that's what it's all about. The lighthouse! But they get rid of it. That's perfectly fine because now you actually have the orbs in play with the Discord. Envy on high, chasing him back. XQC once again hanging on by a thread. He is so low, and there will be him leaving a smear on the floor as Envy goes flying by.
Well, XQC didn't get any heals there because Custa was down. Harry Hook was busy on a mission going to revive Custa. Custa stepped out into a sightline, maybe not thinking that Los Angeles were running a Widow. Offensive Widow generally run on this map in response to a defensive Widow, not just its own thing. But Kareev's been so good on it, why not? It occupied both of the healers. XQC had no chance in that fight.
And at the same time, and while all of that is going down, you have 4 of them from Valiant just camping that payload. Maximum ground covered there for the execs, just waiting to get to work.
They have Valkyrie out. They're going to bring XQC back to life. Chain healing now on the point. The burst damage of Kareev can get through it. He was looking for that Mercy. He finds Custa instead. What a consolation prize behind door number 2.
Kinda works. AKM dead as well on the Genji. No joy there for him. And you still have the tanks in the fight. Mickey, not for long perhaps. He will get demected as he is getting focused down by Envy. Self-destruct just to buy a little bit more time, but plenty of hiding spots here for the Valiant, and even the res onto Soon to get him back into the fight all the quicker. Mickey, however, does get the remake off. So he will actually be able to buy a little bit more time here for his teammates to get back into this fight, but there is so little ground to cover, and the Valiant will be victorious in the series. 3-0 over the Dallas Fuel.
Made Hollywood look very easy. Dallas unable to find a new plan that works against the Valiant. The tank's still kind of out in no man's land. So much damage coming in. It puts so much stress on the healers. That moment where they picked Custa, then Harry has to go to it. That means their tanks are dead, and it's snowballed from there.
Listen, it's the best time to be driving in LA. No traffic. The Valiant, they're the Los Angeles team. They know what's up.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League.
Focus up, guys. Focus up.
We have the best players. We have the best fans.
Going into game. Going to 3. On 3.
We wanted to make sure that all the best players in the world were in the league, regardless of where they're from. You're really starting to see everybody really wants to up their game.
All right, welcome back from the break, everybody. Los Angeles Valiant, they're in the lead, 3-0. They have won the series. Now it's a matter of getting that full sweep. Every map matters. That's what Malik keeps mentioning, and it's true.
Yeah.
Every map matters when it comes down to the playoffs of the stage.
Well, especially for Valiant, I mentioned at the top of the set that when they lose, they really lose.
Yeah,
they go 0-4, and those are map differentials that you have to try to make up with some 4-0s. So they won Hollywood. Was not necessarily surprising. They're a much better team on hybrid maps than the Dallas Fuel are. I believe they're like 11-5, something along those lines. So very good game mode for them. Gibraltar, though, should also end up favoring the Valiant to the chagrin of Dallas Fuel fans, because Gibraltar was a map that they had to play in their last set, whereas Dallas did not have to play this map in their last set. I believe they were on Route 66 instead, so more practiced. But even more concerning, Semler, is that this is a good Widow map. And can you tell me the answer to Kariv's Widow right now, who's playing for the Dallas Fuel?
I think it's kind of silly that you're asking me that question, Hex. Obviously, Harry Hook is just going to go ahead and swap over to Widow and take him to him.
You know what? I could give it a shot. Nothing else is really working. They have to be able to dive this. Uncontested Widow is a game winner. You can't leave a Widow all alone like they did. You have to put some pressure on the Widow. You don't have to win the Widow-Widow duel. You just have to be out there. You can unplug your mouse in a Widow-Widow duel. As long as they see that you're there, they have to take different sight lines, different approaches. It does seem right now that they're at least hovering over a Widow of their own. I guess it's going to be AKM. I mostly know this guy as a Soldier 76. He can flex onto some other stuff, can play a lot of hit scan, has been grinding a lot of hours on Genji, perhaps. Has played D.Va before, but that was just because someone had to on that rogue team. Yeah. We'll see how his Widow is. He's a mechanically gifted player, and it's a great map for it.
And it could be that he's been waiting this entire time, and he just put his head down and he said, now is my time to see through walls and hit headshots. Entirely possible for AKM. He is a gifted player, and so we'll see. You can win the matches single-handedly. We've seen it crazy things before with Widow players where they just come out the gates, get 3 kills, and win that point for their team.
Yeah, I just feel that maybe Envy and his style of play is just going to go right after that Widow every single time. And if he doesn't get peel from Mickey, he might be in a little bit of trouble. But that is neither here nor there. Let's see how it all plays out. The defense opting not to run their own Widow. Kariv instead on the Soldier 76. A little more consistent damage. Gets all those tanks down nice and low. And then let your buddy Soon go finish him off.
Just keeping an eye on things here. Effect exactly. Generally, we'll have a tank hanging around on this platform right here, kind of poking and really just feeding ult charge back to the healers. You know, if you take damage up there, fairly easy for your healers to top you back up again and work towards those ults. Verbo already at 40%, and well, that's exactly what they want. It's fine, Envy backs off, gets topped right back up again.
Yeah, they can't let AKM sit up here. Generally, there's a tank up on this little box over here to just deny the Widow. Now he's just going to be trying to plug into server room. He's already got 80%. Going to take the low route because those stairs were complicated. For angles there, going to go back up.
They keep holding in server room right now, and that's kind of put a halt to this payload as it gets contested. Envy can get topped up by his healers fairly easily from this angle, and Verbo decides to commit to this. Gets right out into the open. Unko has won the duel against Effect yet again, but there's AKM. Takes the drop on Kariv. Instant headshot, instant death, but he is able to back off and get topped up by Harry Hook.
Yeah, they will resurrect Kariv as well. AKM was too close. He had to get out of there, so he could not finish off the resurrecting Mercy. He's usually a pretty good target when you get someone out in the open like that. Now trying to bully in. This is where the big fight is going to come in, right around this corner. And Valkyrie does seem to be popped from Harry Hook. Verbo can answer.
Verbo can answer, but he's just playing it. He's taking the risk right now. He's really trying to run this out and wait for the very last instant before he decides to pop the wings. And oh, that's going to cost Soon, but still possible here for Verbo. Enough time has probably passed. Kariv just chasing AKM off of that high ground. He's got fed up with it. And Verbo prioritizing the tank, getting him back into this fight.
That was a great play. XQC gets the finish on Kariv, but it was mostly AKM got his way away, able to hit a fadeaway headshot there, and they are blocking the door here. It's up to D.Va to get out of this. She's unstoppable in that mech, but Envy is now out of mech. Pilot D.Va can't get through there.
Fate is gone. First point collected here for Dallas Fuel. 4 minutes 20 left on that clock. And well, there we go. It will be the Helix rocket from Kariv to take down AKM. We'll see if AKM decides to change it up. Widow can still work on the second point.
They ended up with some rough spawns there. That's why they had spawned out right below. It's one of the worst parts of losing that first point on Gibraltar, and the fashion in which they did is they respawned right outside that door, end up feeding a couple of health bars to the enemy team's ultimate meters. Now they're going to be stuck in another door. Pulse bomb hits the ground. Get away from that one.
Tough break there for Effect. Yeah, that's going to be an easy one, and there wasn't quite enough pressure to force the Los Angeles Valiant backline into the explosion. AKM once again getting pressured here. I like it. Soon really trying to focus on this guy. Recalls back up to the high ground as well. Forces the chain hook. We've got games and games here, people. And Soon refuses to give up. Going after his countrymen.
Envy went in there as well. It seemed like they wanted a double dive on there, but AKM's been very slippery with this grappling hook. He's gotten himself out of a bunch of bad situations. His tanks are playing around him well. I think this is the strategy they need to go with. Let AKM do his AKM things and see how far he can take you. Tactical Visor going to slow down this push, if not fully deflect it.
Yeah, certainly just whittling him. Look at that. Milky gets melted. AKM trying to chime in, trying to hit the shot. He will drop Kareev, but no more than that, it seems. And soon, right on the edge. There we go. Peekaboo! Just for an instant, forces AKM to give ground yet again.
I would not be surprised if Soon Pulse bombs him. One, for style points. Two, because AKM's just been getting away from everything else. I mean, the best way to deal with him now is just to commit the Pulse bomb.
Quite a few ults here. 4 for Los Angeles Valiant, so they should be feeling pretty comfortable with this situation.
Once you get the first defense on Shuttle phase, you feel much, much better, because it's a phase that you can get rolled through on. AKM takes down Soon with a headshot. A nice kill onto a Tracer from a Widow there.
Oof, Effects just barely dodging as well. He's going to stay alive for a little bit longer. XQC has gone ahead and broken his glasses, and he's pissed off about it. Getting in here. Fate as well. And it's the total collapse. Both teams sticking together. The wings are off of Verbo. He's chain healing and trying to keep his teammates alive. But Soon, yet again, will die. And there you go. He gets the pulse bomb onto AKM. But Mickey with the monster self-destruct. The backline is dead for Valiant. This certainly means a second point here for the Dallas Fuel.
Mickey adds himself another 4-kill performance there to get them to second point. I knew that pulse bomb would come eventually onto AKM, but it meant nothing. Soon busy in the backline while Mickey was wrecking up front there. And now with some decent time left, 3 minutes here to close out the map for Dallas Fuel. It's been largely based around just trying to keep AKM alive. There's been some good peel. They're playing around him.
This is, okay, exactly. Kareev has swapped to the Widow as well. So this is where you wanted to see that Widow come into it. He hung around on the Soldier for first and second, but now on third, this is where he can kind of just get that groundwork down. If he can hit that shot on AKM, win that duel immediately, it's going to be very difficult here for Dallas Fuel to make progress.
You have to play the Widow because you can't allow AKM to stand there. The tanks are going to start it off and get him off of that point. Then sometimes you don't have the tanks to commit to that push, and that's why you need the Widow on defense. Harry Hook's going to take down Verbo in a little mercy on mercy action. Soon also falls. Dallas continuing to push this very well. A pulse bomb should be going right through the spawn.
Great teamwork there between Mickey and Effect working together to secure the kill on Soon. Soon is back into it. Pulse right in. Zoning Pulse doesn't care. They're going to have to force their way out because they're getting far too close here. Dallas Fuel nearly has the third point. It is going to be Dallas with the trance here as well. Just trying to secure it, trying to end this map. Pulse gets thrown in by Soon, but he isn't able to get anything out of it.
And this is what you can't let happen. And that's exactly why Kareev is on defensive Widow. AKM cannot be allowed to sit back there. The tanks have to stay on the cart and play that game. You need another answer for it. Kareev is that answer. He will get taken down, but now they've gotten a couple kills. Defense could flip this around.
But Mickey refuses to say die. And AKM is back into it now. Headshot on Fate. Ends the monkey. Kareev is back in with the reflect already used. He's not going to be long for this world. And AKM's the one to collect the kill. AKM, yet again, another headshot for him.
It's nearly impossible to be able to deal with this now. You just have to try to play out of sightlines, jump on and off the cart, hopefully pick up a kill. But that's not going to happen. That's checkmate on Gibraltar. AKM comes through for his team. And overall, a better team effort. They seem to know when the focus is on. Let's keep AKM alive here. Okay, now he's set up. Now let's go do our chaos up front. Tanks playing better with each other, being better with supports, able to finish out Gibraltar.
You can read it on their faces though, Hex. All of these guys are thinking right now is, why couldn't we do this earlier in the series? What held us back from being able to hit this level earlier in the series to just steamroll these guys?
It's got to be infuriating to be a Dallas Fuel fan. The inconsistency is off this charts. They played close to Seoul in their debut in the Overwatch League. You and I were watching that game, and it was very close. We're like, all right, this is the Dallas, the former Envious. This is the team we know and love. And then it all fell apart. Then towards the end of the season, started to pick it up. Stage 2 looking a little better. Like, all right, now Dallas has figured it out. And then this performance so far, I mean, even if they pull out this map, it's a loss against Valiant in which they did not look very good on those lost maps.
It was a bit of a one-sided affair. But there is still a chance. In French, you would say sauver l'honneur. It's still a chance to save their honor here. At least pick up the last map in this series. Get a shred of something back. And, you know, have a reason to hold your head up high going into scrims this week, because you still have to put in the work even if you have an L next to your name.
What's the phrase of thinking of the perfect comeback when it's too late and you're gone? It's like esprit d'escalier. And it means like stares thoughtfulness or something. I thought you, come on, you're half French.
I'm trying, no, because I heard something else, and I was like, that could actually work too. It was just like the spirits of escalating spirit or something. I was like, well, maybe, I haven't heard that before, but maybe that could work.
It is something like that. I'm actually not French. Similar as though.
That's why I get to make wine and baguette jokes.
Yeah,
that's how it works, right, Hex?
I guess I shouldn't.
That's how it works, right?
I think so. Probably not in this current world we live in. Dallas is on the defense now. They're going to run a Soldier 76, exact same defense that the Valiant were running here, and Valiant will switch and take that offense. So Kareev on the Widow, AKM on the 76. That is what swapped up. Harry Hook on the Ana. Again, Ana very good on this map, long sight lines. And, you know, a lot of times in your competitive games, you're going to hold up here and rotate. The pros realize it doesn't really matter. We're going to have to defend back here anyway. That's why they always really will defend this back point. They might rotate into server room. There's just different kind of flavors of this defense.
They're getting a bit crowded up there, though, those two tanks. Usually it's just the one. These guys are bouncing into each other, and, well, here's why. They wanted to go for the push. They wanted to kill Kareev quick, and they're not letting up. Kareev just barely makes it out of there in pace. Well, he does manage to get a little bit of HP back. If he can get that body shot on Effect, that would have been pretty monstrous, but instead Effect going to be able to dart back to safety.
Kareev just barely escaping with his life. There was no peel there for him. Almost dead. Gets himself a small pack at 12 HP. Soon Discord are going to hang out in server room. Going to make sure that Effect doesn't feel free to come in. Just kind of setting up. Now they have complete vision of the team. That means AKM's going to be a little bit of trouble. They know exactly where he is on that flank.
Indeed, there's no secret there. Envy. Once again, XQC falls, but we will have to trade, and Effect gets the stick on Kareev. That's a big kill, slowing down this offense, slowing down the impact. Verbo, however, will be able to get that resurrect off, but that's the only one. Envy, though, needs to get that remake, and he just barely squeaks it.
That's crazy. Meanwhile, Kareev has taken down two more. Mickey will fall. AKM out of this, and now they're backing out. They do not want to deal with split spawns up here. Don't want to give up any more lives. Already having to reposition themselves, and that is a dead Zenyatta if I've ever seen one. Custa gives up the ghost right there to Envy. Now Kareev's going to be camping top door. This used to be like the only door people came in until the offenses got more aggressive. Now you have to pick your poisons. A lot of bottom left, bottom right instead of top left.
Exactly, because you're hoping to close those sidelines. If they've got control of that high ground, it could get a bit dicey for you, a little bit scary. Effect taking point, trying to push them back. He's working on that pulse spin. As I said, he does manage to get his ult, so we'll see again. He doesn't wait at all. Instantly throws it out. Didn't spot if he got anything from it, but AKM now just going to work. He has got that tac visor. He's on the high ground. He's exactly where he needs to be, but he will get chased back. Fate hungry for the kill, and Fate potential for a double soon is there to rob him, but the job is done.
Fate and Envy never believe that they're out of the fight as long as they're still with each other. The power of friendship coming through there. Soon's also always there with them. They lost a couple key components early, namely Verbo out of that mix, but it doesn't matter. They keep going. They take their trades. Nano should come out from Harry if they want to hold this huge stick. Will get transcended out of. Not sure who it's stuck on, but did force out two ultimates, Primal Rage and Transcend. Could have hit either of them.
XQC, I believe.
It would make sense.
XQC, he gets the stick. The magnet is still working right now. He needs to rub off that static energy. Because that is static electricity, because it isn't pleasant to constantly try to dodge bombs. Fate, 2 kills yet again for him. AKM, Custa, both valuable targets. XQC caught in the corner yet again. He puts his shield down. He's stuck. Where do you go? It's the longest fight in history, but eventually Envy will get the job done.
Envy lords over the fallen XQC. 127 was in the bank for Dallas, so they're definitely going to get another shot at this, even if the Valiant are able to finish out the map. Now you're just playing for time pools. Dallas still has the win condition on their side, but what they don't have on their side are any ultimates abilities. Meanwhile, Valiant 5 out of 6 check marks.
Stewin is just styling on him now. He's just making it look easy. Sure, why not? Here, Harry, have the pulse bomb.
Kareev goes down, so he's not really in the position that he wants to be. It's a good play from Effect to slow down this push.
It is kind of similar approach. You need to focus Kareev and can't let him get up onto that balcony where he can rain terror down from above. XQC definitely going to try and set up shop up there. But now, it is just a matter of holding these angles. Effect trying to do the best that he can. He's definitely a little bit low right now. Harry will top him back up. When is the first, who's going to make the first mistake? Who's going to slip up? and allow for the first kill to happen here in this engagement.
It's a small thing, but I love how Soon plays Tracer on offense and defense always near the cart, because it means any second that anyone's off it, it's a couple meters. Or he just doesn't give up any meters free on the defense either. He's so aware of how Overwatch is an objective-based game.
Exactly right. Could be called the professor. He's always there to teach a lesson. In fact, will be going down though. Verbo, man, that was bold. Trying to res right out in the open. They're having none of that, and Dallas looks like they will be able to hold here. 3 minutes left on the clock for Valiant.
Team wipe and the ultimate economy advantage that the Valiant had now gone. It started off as soon as ball spawn. They ended up using everything else post that. They will have a transcend going forward. See if they want to use that. Given how fast Unko gets his transcendence, I wouldn't be surprised to see him pop it here with the assurance that they'll get another one soon. Well, you know, just doing soon stuff.
Oh my god. Yeah, you find him. He's still dead. AKM blown to bits.
Ridiculous.
What? That was beastly.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, this is where it could fall apart. This is definitely where it can get a bit scary here for Dallas Fuel. You've lost a key player. AKM is going to res up and get back into it. He's changed it up on the Sombra now. He will have that hack, will have that silence. But now Kareev in the back line turns it into the shooting gallery.
That's a nice transcend there, and during that transcend they take down Verbo. You have to kill something during the transcend with your tanks. The burst damage not going to be enough on these tanks to take them out. While they're in transcend, they can kill Switchies through it. Effect gonna harass here. Wonder how serious Kareev's taking this. No, he's got actually Soon back there with him, keeping Effect in check. XQC takes a lot of damage, and now everyone knows where everyone is.
Yep, exactly. Who's gonna find the shot? Is there gonna be a pixel available? Soon just starts right in, of course. Goes for another pulse bomb, but that is fine. He's able to get out of there, and now he can go back to charging up a new one. 1:46 and less than a meter here to go for Los Angeles Valiant to tie it up 3-3.
It's an interesting switch from AKM onto the Sombra. It happens early enough that it's obviously something they want to use, can maybe get an ultimate. Also can be used to harass Kareev in the backline. His Effect's been doing harassment but not kills. AKM's just going to straight up take out Unko with that Sombra. And Kareev out-sniped by Grandma Anna.
She still got it. This time she wins the duel.
Now, looking pretty good. 1 minute left for the Valiant to push this to the end, or Dallas will come out of this with a moral victory at the least. Hacking that pack is actually brutal too, because they can't... Now, Kareev's off the Widow, but had the Widow been there, now no more healing for him.
Yeah, they can't camp it out the same way. You know what? You've got Harry Hook just hitting shot after shot. He's got the nano. He's still got... no, XQC is dead again. And that was with Primal as well, but he will be able to get back into this fast enough to be able to use that before the next fight goes down. 45 seconds on the clock here.
The nano might actually go to Mickey here because it helps him get to a self-destruct, which can be so good at zoning towards the end. With XQC already with his ultimate available. It also can go to XQC to do a lot of damage up front, and then if he gets in trouble, he can Primal Rage out, but I'd be surprised if he doesn't go on one of the tanks.
Just layer it up, layer it up. I mean, Mickey still here on the edge, and there we go. Nano is used. Mickey trying to find the targets here. He is getting denied a little bit by the D-Matrix on Envy. Just goes darting right into the back line. This could be a good spot to drop that self-destruct if he wanted to, but he's going to hold on to it for a new mech. Just continue to survive as long as possible. And there we go. Going for the style points. Chucks it out in the open, and Kareev is dead.
They trade with each other. The Deadeye did come in, took down Mickey out of mech, but now Soon has got to be the hero for this team. He's still alive, takes on XQC. Effect is still in this onto Fate. It is a battle of the Tracers, but Custa takes his pound of flesh from Unko, and soon Dallas Fuel should be able to hold on to this, barring a miracle from Kareev. None is forthcoming, and Dallas wipes the 0 off the board. Will lose the series, but not every map. You gotta build on something here, and that's a pretty good Gibraltar from Dallas.
A small victory here for Dallas Fuel. It isn't the end of days. They do manage to pick up one win. There is something here to build off of, you're right. But the Valiant can definitely be feeling pretty good about themselves. That's a series that could have really gone either way depending on which Dallas showed up. But the Valiant stood tall. Soon in particular, well, everybody had their moment on this roster. But a very valuable victory picked up for them.
And the Valiant still remain one of the teams to beat. Dallas still back to the drawing board. It's just so frustrating. You look at this team, it's like they've got all the pieces. When is the puzzle going to come together? But perhaps the desk has some answers for us. Let's throw it back to Puckett and the boys.
Man, it is great to watch the Valiant after that win. All smiles across the board. A big victory tonight, but Dallas, they finish off with the map win, and we should remind everybody, this is stage 2. Every map matters. If you watch stage 1, that playoffs at the very end, it's only the top 3 teams, and the map differential could have a huge impact. Let's talk about the Valiant today. They walk away with the victory. We highlighted the DPS. Soon was going off on the Tracer. We said Kareev was doing work with the Widowmaker. What were you guys seeing in the second half?
They're back. The Valiant is absolutely back. They were struggling earlier in the stage, but now they've finally come to fruition to play to the level that they showed at stage 1. So now we can finally judge them by that standard.
Brent, take us back to Hollywood. What were we seeing from the tanks? Because I feel like we mentioned them a little bit at halftime, but these guys need some love.
They do definitely need some love. We've been focusing on the DPS, I think, a little bit too much, because I was going on about the tanks, and now we've actually got some examples to show you as well. So that's just the perfect storm, as we see here, as we can jump into the Hollywood gameplay. Mainly going to be paying attention to Fate and Envy here, because these guys, the unsung heroes of Overwatch, and that goes to all the tank players, right? Regardless if you're gold, platinum, or in Crumbs' case, teetering on diamond.
Hey,
and this time,
it's teetering on.
Teeter on Masters, is that true?
That's
well
not
done.
true at all.
I'm actually
I
proud of
haven't
you.
done my placements. I haven't done my placements.
Okay, you're lying to me.
It was
All right.
3,300.
Back to Envy, who is a good
Back to
diva.
Envy. Envy is a good diva. Great observation there.
Thank you.
He does. He's fantastic at sort of protecting the backlines, the supports. He peels for them quite effectively. And if you're wondering what the word peel means, it means basically how good you are at protecting your support backline. And Envy and Fate, they do it with almost a masterclass performance.
And you can just see how painful it is to be guys like Harry Hook and Kusta today. They were just getting swarmed by the tanks after they dealt with the DPS. Overall, I felt like Valiant showed us some really strong gameplay, but Dallas was right behind them. And you look back, they won that map 4. If they won control, if they were able to take that 3rd round of Nepal, we'd be going to a game 5 right now. So if you're a Dallas fan at home, you shouldn't be too upset. Yes, you got the loss, but there is some hope. And it's not just their gameplay. We were impressed by something that's out of game.
Yeah, the communication in general, right? It's the comms. We've got a nice little clip.
Is that out of game?
It is.
It doesn't require your keyboard.
Kinda.
Still need your microphone. Here are Dallas comms towards the end of that 3rd game. Mickey stepping up big here.
Guys, listen. We have to call. If they want to touch, we call. If you not gonna touch, you say. If we say nothing, we lost. We have to call.
We have to call. Mickey taking charge here, and we were wondering who's going to do that. You don't have the old guys like Taimu always in the lineup now. You've added so many pieces. Someone has to take that leadership role. It's good to see that there's a little balance between the intensity of XQC and Mickey the Diva.
Well, you have to remember in the team, not only do you have roles of tank, DPS, support, flex, whatever, but you also have emotional roles. You've got the guys that support leadership, the guys that are always looking for the clutch plays, guys that are looking for the communication elements that get assigned into specific slots. So Mickey being the guy that has to bring up the team is just one more reason to love this.
Right, and I mean, people might comment on his general tank play in general, but you need to understand as well, there's things outside of the game that we don't see that make these players so valuable. And in my eyes as well, I mean, look no further if you need the perfect male specimen, because he's got it all, hasn't he? He's got the guns, he's got the comms, he's got the cheeky grin. You know, Mickey, what a guy, what a lad.
2018. The year Brent said Mickey, what was it?
The perfect male specimen.
The perfect male specimen. Unfortunately for Mickey, he is not our player of the match, sponsored by Omen by HP. This man soon was doing it from the beginning. Every single round, every single fight, he was constantly causing problems for this Dallas team. We've mentioned that he's a great tracer. I always feel like Semler overhypes this guy because they can both speak French, but he lived up to the hype tonight.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about the overhype, because I mean, I've personally been quoted as well saying that this guy might be one of the best tracers in the league for very good reasoning. He knows exactly when to play the backlines. He knows when to go for those back caps, those cheeky plays where he's taking his team off guard.
Yeah, but the thing is, okay, he can keep up with the best tracers mechanically, but he also brings you the X factor of always trying to play the objective. You don't get that out of any other tracer.
Don't get that in the rank games either, mate. So it's a bit of a problem, guys. Come on, step it up. What are you doing?
Attaching every other pulse bomb and doing the 42,000, almost 43,000 hero damage tonight. Soon was on point all 4 maps. At the end of it all, it's the Valiant taking this one 3-1 in our stage 2 standings. well, they've been impacted. You're going to see Seoul after their victory earlier today, jumping up into first place, passing the Fusion by a 1 map count as well as a 1 match win. The Valiant, though, with that victory, now move into the number 3 spot. And if you look at the overall, Valiant have broken in once again. They're in our top 3. Houston behind them following the loss. It's been a great week, and we're going to close it out with some big games. Here's a look at tomorrow. New York, Spitfire, Fusion, Outlaws. We're bringing you all the big dogs, and it starts early, 1 p.m. Pacific. Set your alarms tonight. You want to make sure you catch these games.
I am salivating for those first two. The fact that you got Seoul hyping up Philly as by far the best team in the league, taking on the Stage 1 champions, it's basically a finals.
You can't miss it. It's going to be great. You won't see our faces until 1 p.m. Pacific, so we'll see you then. Have a great night. Have a beer on us. We'll see you soon. Or soda.